Walking Through Fire, a story of fear, loyalty, and courage. Segment 1, the spark of change. When beliefs change, the human heart is thrown into conflict. A single question, a single doubt can shift the ground beneath us. Suddenly, what felt certain begins to feel fragile. And in that fragile space, three forces rise: fear, loyalty, and courage. Segment 2, the nature of fear. For most people, the first response is fear. Fear is ancient, wired into us for survival. It whispers, what if you're wrong? What if you no longer belong? Our beliefs are more than ideas. They are the stories that explain who we are and where we stand in the world. When those stories are shaken, it feels as though the earth itself is moving under our feet. To step away from them is to walk into the unknown, and the unknown has always been frightening. Fear is not always loud. Sometimes it hides in hesitation, in silence, in the weight of unspoken doubt. Fear makes us cling to the familiar, even when the familiar no longer feels true. Segment 3, the power of loyalty. And then there is loyalty. Loyalty ties us to the people and communities who gave us those beliefs in the first place, to our families who taught us right from wrong, to our friends who share our worldview, to traditions that stretch back through time, carrying the weight of countless generations. Loyalty says, do not leave us, do not betray what we gave you. But loyalty does not only bind us to others, it also binds us to our past selves, to the person we once were, who built their life on these convictions. To walk away can feel like betrayal, not just of others, but of ourselves. Loyalty then becomes a chain, one that can keep us bound to what no longer serves us. Segment 4, the call to courage. And yet there is courage. Courage does not erase fear, nor does it silence loyalty. Courage listens to both and still chooses to move forward. Courage is the strength to ask difficult questions when others remain silent. It is the willingness to admit doubt, even when certainty would be easier. It is the voice that says, I must remain loyal, not only to people or to tradition, but to truth itself, to integrity, to what is real. Segment 5, lessons from history. Throughout history, fear, loyalty, and courage have collided in dramatic ways. Reformers who challenged entire institutions, whistleblowers who risked their lives to expose corruption, activists who stood against injustice, even when their own communities turned away. Each of them knew fear, each of them felt the pull of loyalty, and each of them had to summon courage to act. Segment 6, the balance of the three. Fear, loyalty, and courage are not enemies. They are parts of the same journey. Fear shows us what we might lose. Loyalty reminds us of what we hold dear. And courage carries us through the storm, helping us find a new place to stand. A place that is more honest, more whole, more true. Segment 7, the final test. When beliefs change, the test is not whether we feel fear or whether we feel torn by loyalty. The true test is whether we have the courage to step forward anyway, to walk with shaking hands and still trust that new ground will hold. Because in the end, courage is not the absence of fear. It is not the abandonment of loyalty. Courage is the steady choice to move toward truth, even when the cost is high and the path uncertain. Segment 8, the human journey. This is the journey of every person who has ever questioned what they once held sacred. A journey through fear, a struggle with loyalty, and a step into courage. And it is through this journey that we discover who we really are.